Ladies and gentlemen, life is a journey filled with peaks and valleys. We all face challenges, some expected, others sudden and overwhelming. But in those moments of struggle, our true strength is revealed. Strength is not about avoiding adversity, but about rising through it, emerging stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Today, I want to talk about how adversity is not our enemy but our greatest teacher, pushing us toward growth and transformation. Adversity is not just a test, it is a mirror that reflects who we truly are. When life is smooth, when success comes easily, and when everything falls into place, it is easy to be confident, composed, and optimistic. But the real test of character comes when we are faced with difficulties that push us beyond our comfort zones. Think about a tree standing tall in a storm. If the tree has weak roots, it will be easily uprooted. However, if its roots run deep, it will withstand the harshest winds. In the same way, when we face challenges, our response determines whether we will stand firm or be shaken. Some people crumble under pressure, allowing doubt, fear, and frustration to take over. Others rise, using hardship as a stepping stone to develop greater resilience, patience, and wisdom. History is filled with examples of individuals whose true character was revealed in times of adversity. Take Mahatma Gandhi, who endured imprisonment and oppression yet remained steadfast in his commitment to nonviolence. Or Helen Keller, who, despite being deaf and blind, showed the world that determination and courage could break through any barrier. These individuals didn't allow their struggles to define them negatively. Instead, they used adversity to refine and strengthen their character. Adversity also has a way of stripping away pretense. It forces us to confront our fears, weaknesses, and limitations. It reveals whether we have the perseverance to keep going, the humility to seek help, and the wisdom to learn from failure. It is in these moments that we realize who we really are, not who we pretend to be, not who society expects us to be, but who we are at our core. Moreover, how we handle adversity influences the people around us. Our resilience in tough times can inspire others to develop the same strength. When a leader remains calm in a crisis, their team follows suit. When a parent shows perseverance despite hardships, their children learn the value of never giving up. So, when adversity strikes, ask yourself, who am I in this moment? Will I let this challenge break me, or will I allow it to shape me into someone stronger, wiser, and more courageous? Because in the end, it is not adversity itself that defines us, but how we respond to it. Resilience is not something we are born with, it is something we develop over time, often through struggle and hardship. Just as muscles grow stronger when they are pushed beyond their limits, our inner strength is forged in the fires of adversity. Without challenges, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no resilience. Consider how diamonds are formed. They begin as mere carbon, but under immense pressure and heat, they transform into one of the hardest and most valuable substances on earth. The same principle applies to us. Life's struggles, setbacks, and difficulties are like that pressure and heat. They shape us, refine us, and make us stronger. But the key is perseverance. Only those who endure the pressure emerge as diamonds. Many of the world's most successful people did not achieve greatness without hardship. They faced failures, obstacles, and moments of doubt, yet they refused to give up. Oprah Winfrey, for example, was fired from her first television job and told she wasn't fit for the industry. Today, she is one of the most influential figures in media. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed thousands of times before he finally succeeded. When asked about his failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." These stories teach us that resilience is built when we refuse to let failure define us. One of the most important aspects of resilience is the ability to adapt. Life is unpredictable and challenges come in many forms: personal loss, financial struggles, health crises, or unexpected failures. Those who are resilient do not crumble under the weight of difficulty. Instead, they adjust, learn, and move forward. They don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but rather, "What can I learn from this? And how can I grow stronger from this experience?" Resilience is also about emotional strength. It is not just about surviving adversity but thriving despite it. It means maintaining hope in the darkest of times, finding a reason to keep going even when everything seems to be falling apart. It is the ability to stand back up time and time again, no matter how many times life knocks us down. Think of a river carving through a mountain. The river does not stop when it encounters an obstacle, it finds a way around it, over it, or through it. That is resilience. It is the determination to keep moving forward, no matter what stands in our way. So, when struggle comes, and it inevitably will, remember that every challenge is an opportunity to build resilience. Every hardship is a chance to become stronger. And every time you push through adversity, you are not just surviving, you are growing, evolving, and becoming the person you are meant to be. Pain is one of the greatest teachers in life. Though we often try to avoid it, pain is necessary for growth, transformation, and self-discovery. Just as the seed must break open for a plant to grow, and just as muscles must tear to become stronger, we too must endure discomfort and hardship to evolve into the best version of ourselves. Think about the process of learning a new skill. Whether it's playing an instrument, mastering a sport, or excelling in a profession, improvement doesn't come without struggle. There are failures, frustrations, and moments of doubt. But with each setback we learn. The more we push through discomfort, the more skilled and capable we become. The same applies to life's larger challenges: personal loss, rejection, disappointment, and failure. These painful experiences, though difficult, provide opportunities for self-reflection, resilience, and reinvention. One of the most powerful aspects of pain is that it forces us to grow in ways comfort never could. When life is easy, we remain stagnant. But when we face hardship, we are pushed out of our comfort zones. We are forced to adapt, to develop new strengths, and to rethink our approach to life. Pain teaches us patience, persistence, and perspective. It forces us to confront our weaknesses and transform them into strengths. History is full of examples of people who used pain as fuel for their growth. Take J.K. Rowling, for instance. Before becoming one of the best-selling authors of all time, she faced immense hardship, poverty, personal loss, and multiple rejections from publishers. But instead of giving up, she used her struggles as motivation to push forward, ultimately creating the world of Harry Potter that has inspired millions. Another example is Nelson Mandela, who endured 27 years of imprisonment. Instead of allowing bitterness to consume him, he used his suffering to cultivate wisdom, strength, and an unshakable commitment to justice. Pain also builds emotional and mental toughness. When we go through difficult times, we learn that we can endure more than we thought possible. We discover that pain is temporary, but the lessons it teaches are lasting. We develop empathy, as experiencing hardship helps us understand and support others going through similar struggles. We become wiser, realizing that every challenge holds a lesson that can guide us forward. Even in nature, pain leads to growth. A butterfly must struggle to break free from its cocoon. Without this struggle, its wings remain too weak to fly. Similarly, adversity forces us to stretch beyond our limitations, strengthening us in ways we never expected. Pain is not an enemy, it is a catalyst. It may not be pleasant, but it is essential for growth. When we learn to embrace pain as a necessary part of our journey, we unlock our true potential and move closer to becoming the person we are meant to be. Setbacks are an inevitable part of life. No matter how careful we are, how well we plan, or how hard we work, we will all experience failure, rejection, and disappointment at some point. But setbacks are not the end of the road, they are stepping stones to something greater. Every challenge, every defeat, and every closed door has the potential to set us up for an even bigger comeback. Think about some of the greatest success stories in history. Many of the most influential figures, leaders, inventors, athletes, and artists did not achieve greatness without first experiencing failure. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. That moment could have crushed him, but instead it fueled his determination to work harder. Years later, he became a legend in the sport, proving that setbacks don't define us, our response to them does. Similarly, Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination before going on to build one of the most successful entertainment empires in history. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed thousands of times before finding the right formula. He didn't see those failures as defeats, instead, he saw them as lessons. Each setback brought him one step closer to success. The truth is, setbacks are not failures unless we allow them to be. They are opportunities in disguise, lessons that teach us what doesn't work, experiences that build our resilience, and moments that force us to grow. When we shift our mindset to see setbacks as setups for something greater, we unlock the power to turn adversity into achievement. One of the key reasons setbacks lead to comebacks is that they force us to reevaluate our approach. When we face failure, we are given a chance to step back, analyze what went wrong, and make improvements. We gain new perspectives, develop new strategies, and refine our skills. In many cases, setbacks redirect us toward an even better path than the one we originally planned. What seems like a loss in the moment can later be revealed as a blessing in disguise. Another reason setbacks are powerful is that they build mental and emotional resilience. When we go through difficult times and refuse to give up, we become stronger. We learn how to handle adversity, how to persevere through difficulties, and how to maintain faith in ourselves even when the odds seem stacked against us. The ability to bounce back after failure is one of the greatest predictors of success in any field. It is important to remember that the greatest comebacks don't happen overnight. They require patience, persistence, and a willingness to keep pushing forward even when the road is tough. It is easy to feel discouraged after a setback, but true strength lies in refusing to stay down. Every time we get back up, we prove to ourselves and to the world that we are capable of achieving greatness. Setbacks also help us develop humility. They remind us that success is not guaranteed, and that failure is part of the process. When we experience difficulties, we learn to appreciate our achievements more. We become more empathetic toward others who are struggling, and we gain a deeper understanding of what it takes to truly succeed. Life will not always go as planned. There will be moments of failure, frustration, and doubt. But those moments are not the end, they are just the beginning of something greater. A setback is not a sign to quit. It is a test of our determination, a lesson in resilience, and an opportunity to come back stronger than ever. True strength is not just about personal resilience or willpower, it is also about knowing when to lean on others. In times of adversity, the support we receive from friends, family, mentors, and even strangers can make all the difference. No one overcomes challenges alone, and those who recognize the value of support often emerge stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling life's difficulties. Think about a building. A single pillar may be strong, but it cannot hold up an entire structure on its own. It needs additional pillars, beams, and reinforcements to stay upright. Similarly, human beings are not meant to face adversity alone. We thrive in connection with others, and the relationships we build serve as the foundation of our emotional and mental well-being. In the most difficult moments of life, whether we are dealing with loss, failure, illness, or personal struggles, it is the people around us who help lift us back up. A kind word from a friend, a mentor's guidance, or even the simple presence of a loved one can provide the strength needed to keep moving forward. Sometimes, just knowing that someone believes in us can be enough to reignite our motivation and confidence. Throughout history, some of the greatest leaders and visionaries have relied on support systems to help them navigate adversity. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dedicated team of activists who stood by him during the civil rights movement. Helen Keller had a teacher, Anne Sullivan, who guided her through the challenges of being deaf and blind. Even great athletes, scientists, and entrepreneurs achieve success not in isolation, but through the encouragement and support of those around them. Support can come in many forms. It may be emotional support from friends who listen without judgment, offering comfort in times of distress. It may be practical support from colleagues or mentors who provide guidance, helping us find solutions to our problems. It may even be support from a larger community, people who share similar experiences and remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. One of the most powerful aspects of support is that it does not just help the person receiving it, it also strengthens the one giving it. When we support others in their time of need, we build our own sense of purpose and connection. We learn empathy, deepen our relationships, and create a cycle of strength that benefits everyone involved. Unfortunately, many people hesitate to seek support because they see it as a sign of weakness. They believe they must handle everything on their own, fearing that asking for help will make them appear vulnerable. But the truth is, seeking support is one of the strongest things a person can do. It takes courage to admit when we need help and wisdom to recognize that we are stronger together than we are alone. Support does not always mean solving someone's problems. Sometimes it is simply about being present, offering a listening ear, or providing reassurance. A few words of encouragement, a small act of kindness, or even just sitting in silence with someone going through a tough time can have a profound impact. In times of hardship, we must not isolate ourselves. Instead, we must reach out, lean on those who care about us, and allow others to help us find our way. And just as we seek support in our difficult moments, we must also be willing to offer it to those around us. Because in the end, strength is not just about standing tall alone, it is about lifting each other up, creating bonds that make us all stronger together. The way we perceive adversity determines how we respond to it. Two people can experience the same challenge, yet one may see it as an insurmountable obstacle while the other views it as an opportunity for growth. This difference in mindset is what separates those who succumb to difficulties from those who rise above them. Perspective is not just about what happens to us, it's about how we choose to interpret and react to it. Imagine a glass of water that is filled halfway. One person sees it as half empty, while another sees it as half full. The amount of water remains the same, but their interpretation of it changes everything. This simple analogy applies to life's struggles as well. When we face setbacks, we can either see them as proof that we are doomed to fail, or we can view them as stepping stones to future success. History is filled with individuals who changed their perspectives on adversity and in doing so changed their lives. Nelson Mandela, after spending 27 years in prison, did not emerge bitter or broken. Instead, he chose to see his imprisonment as a lesson in patience, wisdom, and leadership, which ultimately allowed him to become one of the greatest leaders in history. Similarly, Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, wrote in Man's Search for Meaning that even in the most horrific conditions, we have the power to choose our attitude and find meaning in our suffering. His perspective on pain allowed him to survive and later help millions of others find purpose in their struggles. One of the most important aspects of perspective is recognizing that adversity is temporary. When we are in the middle of a crisis, it can feel like things will never improve. But if we take a step back and remind ourselves that tough times don't last forever, we can face our challenges with greater resilience. Just as dark clouds eventually pass to reveal the sun, our hardships are not permanent. Another key aspect of perspective is the ability to reframe challenges. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" or "How can this make me stronger?" This shift in thinking transforms adversity from something we suffer through into something that helps us grow. Challenges become lessons, failures become stepping stones, and obstacles become opportunities. Perspective also allows us to see the hidden benefits in adversity. Many times, what seems like a setback is actually a redirection towards something better. A lost job might lead to a better career opportunity. A failed relationship might open the door to greater self-discovery and a healthier future partnership. Even health struggles, though difficult, often teach us the importance of self-care, gratitude, and resilience. Additionally, having the right perspective in adversity helps us maintain emotional balance. When we understand that struggle is a natural part of life, we don't take failures personally. We recognize that even the most successful people have faced hardships, and we stop comparing our struggles to others' highlights. This allows us to navigate difficulties without being overwhelmed by self-doubt or negativity. One of the best ways to shift our perspective is through gratitude. Even in the darkest times, there is always something to be thankful for. Focusing on what we still have rather than what we have lost helps us maintain hope and motivation. It reminds us that no matter how difficult life gets, there are still moments of joy, kindness, and possibility. In the end, our perspective shapes our reality. If we see adversity as an enemy, we will constantly feel defeated. But if we see it as a teacher, we will continuously grow stronger. The choice is ours. Perspective is not just about seeing the world differently, it's about shaping our world through the way we choose to think, act, and respond to life's challenges. Adversity is often seen as a setback, something to endure and survive. But what if we looked at it differently? What if we saw adversity not just as a challenge, but as a guide, one that pushes us toward our true purpose? Some of the most meaningful and impactful lives have been shaped by hardship, and through those hardships, individuals have discovered a deeper calling. When we go through difficult times, we are forced to reflect on what truly matters. Adversity strips away distractions, forcing us to confront our values, passions, and deepest desires. It challenges us to ask, what am I fighting for? What lessons can I take from this experience? How can I use this pain to create something meaningful? Many times it is through our struggles that we find clarity about our purpose in life. Consider the stories of individuals who turned their suffering into something greater. Malala Yousafzai, after surviving an assassination attempt for advocating girls' education, did not allow fear or pain to silence her. Instead, she used her experience to fuel a global movement, becoming a powerful voice for education and human rights. Nick Vujicic, born without arms and legs, could have lived a life defined by limitations. Instead, he chose to inspire millions by teaching resilience and self-acceptance. Their hardships gave them a mission, something bigger than themselves. Many of the world's greatest innovations, movements, and works of art were born out of struggle. People who have faced immense personal hardships often go on to create organizations, charities, or businesses that help others in similar situations. A person who has overcome illness may become a doctor or advocate for medical research. Someone who has experienced discrimination may work to change laws and create a more just society. Pain often becomes the fuel that drives people to make a difference in the world. Adversity also deepens our sense of empathy. When we struggle, we understand what it feels like to be vulnerable, lost, or broken. This understanding allows us to connect with others on a deeper level, to offer genuine support and encouragement. Some of the most compassionate and inspiring people are those who have endured great suffering because they know what it means to hurt. They don't just sympathize, they empathize. And that empathy fuels action. Another important aspect of purpose born from adversity is the ability to inspire others. Every time we overcome a challenge, we become living proof that obstacles can be defeated. Our story, our resilience, and our courage serve as motivation for those who are still struggling. When someone sees that we have survived and grown stronger, they begin to believe they can too. Our hardships, once overcome, become a beacon of hope for others. Finding purpose through adversity does not mean we have to go through suffering alone. It means choosing to rise from it, to take the lessons we've learned and use them to create something meaningful. It means recognizing that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond, and in that response lies the power to turn pain into purpose. Even in the darkest moments, there is the potential for growth, transformation, and a deeper sense of meaning. Adversity is not just something to survive, it is something that can shape us, refine us, and guide us toward a life of impact, passion, and purpose. Adversity is not the end of the road, it is a turning point. It is in our struggles that we find our true strength, in our setbacks that we discover resilience, and in our pain that we uncover purpose. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to emerge stronger than before. Life will test us. It will push us to our limits. But we must remember that we are not defined by what happens to us, we are defined by how we respond. When we choose to see adversity as a teacher rather than an enemy, we unlock the power within us to overcome, to adapt, and to rise. So, when hardship comes, don't fear it. Face it. Embrace the lessons it offers, lean on those who support you, and never lose sight of the fact that your struggles are shaping you into the person you are meant to become. Because in the end, strength is not found in avoiding adversity, but in standing tall through it.